Well, Rob, the gig is up. There's no longer any limitations on what you can get accomplished.
Yeah.
I am absolutely convinced after this weekend and some things that you had just been telling me, if you're listening out there, you can do anything. Now, you may not be able to do everything, but you can do anything now. We have apps that I've been coming across, Rob, and AIs that I've been coming across that just make it so easy
Oh
for us
yeah.
to do so many things. But here's the big question, Rob,
Hmm.
is who is it that you have to become? Now, I think we
Mm.
addressed this before, but who is it that you have to become
Yeah.
to then go out there, feel confident in
And do the
doing
work.
these things? I feel so capable now. I feel so confident now that I can crank out all the ideas to my heart's desire. And I've been doing it. This weekend has been masterful.
Yeah.
But here's what I had to tell myself: you are content. I said it just like I said, you are content that
Mm.
produces and sells constantly.
Yeah.
And I said, I used the power to gray. I am content.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
produce and I sell constantly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
My wife was talking to me. So I sat down and I had my little recorder. And she says, "What's that?" I says, "I am content." And she says, "Bro." I said, "I am content." So, and all she was asking me a question about this book. And
Hmm.
so when she asked a question about the book, I hit record and I said my answer.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Is this going to be like this all the time?" I says, "I am content. I have decided I'm all in on that.
Yeah.
And I've decided I'm all in on the distribution channels by which to get said content out. I'm
Hmm.
all in on using free and paid tools to achieve these outcomes. Period. I put out probably I put out about 4 pieces of content this weekend.
Hmm.
I put them on. So when I remember, doing it is just one thing. Creating it is nothing. And to what
Hmm.
you said earlier, you recorded your book. You figured
Yep.
out how to get it just right because I used to have all kind of problems with Audible,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then you put them on there.
Yep.
That part, you
Hmm.
have to become someone that decides to go to the next level. And I'm
Yeah.
hearing all kind of limitations. I'm hearing so much stuff from people I'm coaching or people that
Hmm.
are asking me to be coached, and I'm
Yeah.
like, nope, stop that. Do this.
Yeah.
Turn it this way. Right? What have you been finding about who you have to become and what you decide to do to
I
go all
think the
in?
funniest thing, right? Because you're spot on there, and I think for me the biggest issue that I've run into, and this is something it was even new for me. I didn't expect to still deal with some of the limiting beliefs and the limiting ideas that I had thought that I thought that I had gotten past some of these things,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I was just talking to my sister, and we were going through some things because I'm going to do some meetings, and my business is moving into a different level. We're about to do some things on a much larger scale than we've ever done it before.
Mm-hmm.
And I started getting those feelings coming back up, right? All the imposter syndrome, all the stuff. And it's like sometimes you forget who you are, right? Like I
Even
had to
the
go back and look
accomplished.
back at some of the stuff that I've accomplished, some of the things that I've done, and remind me, right, that I'm him, right? As Deion Sanders likes to say, right? Like I have done so many things, but it's very easy for us to fall into that. And I think that one of the things that if entrepreneurs out there and they're listening right now to to what we're talking about today, one of the coolest things I think that exists is the fact that the stuff that used to be hard, the stuff that used to be roadblocks, the stuff that used to keep us stuck for
Mm-hmm.
weeks, for months, maybe even for years, is no longer that difficult anymore.
Right.
And yes, it's cliche. It takes deciding, right? Cutting yourself off from any other options. It takes making sure that you're going to get stuff done. But more importantly, it takes being resourceful. Here's the word that I have, and it's so funny. I was coaching one of my clients today. This is her word for the year, and it is definitely a word that I had to learn how to embody. It's the word ask. So many times we as entrepreneurs get caught up feeling like we're supposed to know, right? We should
Yeah.
all
I
over our
should
stuff.
know. I should
I
know
should
this.
know, I should know how to do this. If I have to ask
Yep.
somebody, if I have to get help, right? And I was coaching with her, and it was so powerful because her word for the year is ask, and my kind of transformation is one of the things that I did in kind of my morning routine. I've learned there's a book that I've been reading called God Guides, and it's a phenomenal book. Basically, it teaches a type of prayer or meditation, which is called listening prayer. And basically, regardless of, for those of you all, regardless of your spiritual orientation or whether it's universe, God, spirit, however you believe, the whole concept of the practice is you got two ears and one mouth. So often we're thinking and trying to fix and trying to find and trying to solve. And the whole idea is to ask the question and sit still long enough to hear the answer.
Yeah, that part.
Right. And then when you hear the answer, write it down. Right. So I have a journal now that I use every day, every morning. I get up and it's one of the first things that I do. Whatever the question is that's pressing on my mind for me to be able to get done what I need to get done in the day, I ask that question. I write it down. I sit in my prayer time and I get quiet and I listen to the answer. Right. And I listen to the answer that resonates. It's not just, noise. It's the answer that resonates kind of deep at a knowing level. I write it down and then I got to get to work. Now, here's the fun part. It's not really fun. I'm being facetious. Now I have to hold myself accountable to actually being obedient to what I heard. There's stuff that I was dealing with discomfort and not feeling like I'm moving forward, all types of different things. And when I went back to my journal and looked, I was like, oh, I haven't done that yet. Oh, I haven't done that yet. And so, boom, go do that. And there's a release. Man, there's a liberation that happens. And so for this year, my whole thing is to listen to what I already know. I think me and you talked about this before. Eric Thomas had said this a couple years back, and he was like, don't read any more new books this year. Go back to the books, all the books you read last year. Take one thing from every one of them books and apply it to your life. That's kind of what this year is for me.
This right here is, quite on point. In two ways. One, I took a nap. I lay down, right? It's that meditation that Uberman talks about, and it's the body still, mind active. And so I lay down, and I just wanted to I didn't even lay down on my bed. I lay down on the futon, and I just had a thought. And the moment that I would get the answer to the thought, I was getting up. So Linda walked by me and says, "Are you laying down?" I says, "Yeah, I'm gonna lay down." She says, "You sleepy?" I says, "No, I'm not sleepy. I'm just, I got something in my head and I want to get it out." So if y'all listening, this is a part of this is a little bit mindset-y, right? But this is what, even as you heard Rob say, even a seasoned entrepreneur has those feelings. So sometimes you got to go back to these kind of things. So I laid down and I got it. So I got the answer, but here's where it went awry. As soon as I went and sat down at my computers, I did something else.
Yep.
I says, I'm looking at it and I said, well, I should probably do this first.
That's the obey piece.
Has that ever happened to y'all?
Yes.
You go, next thing I know, I'm down a whole nother rabbit hole because one thing brings about another.
Yeah. Don't let me go to YouTube looking for something where I'm going to learn something and see a short and then I'm down a rabbit hole, right? Like all the different things. And this is why the biggest key to it, right? And for those of you all that are out there that are more scientific, here's a little bit of the science of why this works, right? It's two things. Number one, your subconscious mind can process 11 million bits of information per second. Now, when you compare that to your conscious mind can only process about 40 to 50 bits of information per second. So for those of you all that are around the same age as me, your Nintendo 64 processes more bits per second than your brain does, right? Back in the day. And so why that's important is because so often we get stuck in our conscious mind. Tony Robbins says it this way: if you're in your head, you're dead, right? There's so much more that our body can observe and can process than what we can consciously be paying attention to. So when Randy's going to lay down, or when I'm doing my listening prayer, one of the things that's happening is we're tapping into a different part of the brain. Yeah. That we're asking the question to a different part of the brain that's connected to different literally a different experience of reality. Here's the fun part, right, about how that works. Right now, if I tell you to feel the bottom of your elbow, right, you can feel the bottom of the elbow because immediately your mind went to it. What you're not feeling is you're not feeling your foot, right? Because your brain can't do both of those at the same time. Now, here's the thing: I can have you feel your elbow and feel your foot at the same time, and you're switching back and forth between the two consciously. But here's the fun part: your subconscious mind can feel every part of your body simultaneously and store that data,
man,
for later retrieval.
So now, as y'all think about this, when we start talking about masterminding, we're masterminding on, you know, the kind of habits that you need to incorporate, the kind of things that you need to do, because if you want to accomplish some stuff, now again, what Rob said, there's nothing holding him back. We've got an AI for that. I literally have a site that I go to called "There's an
That
AI
part.
for that." And get this, man. So, you know, I produced just goo gobs of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
From one video, I ended up sending out links. I'm getting people buying me coffee left and right because this one particular product that I put out there recently, y'all, started off as a video. It actually started off several years ago when I taught my 86-year-old, she wasn't 86 at the time, mother-in-law how to create a digital product,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she's a prayer warrior, and I just sat with her and we did the thing, right? Created the product, and then I put it on, you know, in my editing program, did some things. So now a product is done. Send it to her. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm sending it out to all my friends." Right? Created the product, but it dawned on me the other day that I think this could be useful to some people. So then, what did I do? I went in, I brought it in, repurposed it, put it as a part of a. Here's what I did. Here's the proof. So I showed the proof, showed me doing the thing, and then I showed some tools that I used to do it. As an affiliate, this is how you're making money. This is where
Mm-hmm.
you can put in, you know, get $1,000 in your pocket because, and nothing's promised guaranteed, or, you know,
Right.
because I don't know if you're
FTC.
gonna do this, but here's the point: could you do this? Yeah, it's available to us because now from that one thing, I was able to create multiple things. I created and I think the latest one, Rob, I put it on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
I got an image from AI capable, right? Now we can do almost everything
Mm-hmm.
of a nice older looking lady that's like, right. And the first one was like, you know, my mother-in-law is African American, so it was an African American person. And I was like, I don't like that one because it doesn't match up. But then I
Right.
found an African American woman, boom, grab the photo, and then put it on Patreon. Again, I'm showing you some things, everybody, that don't have to cost you. So I know what you just said. Well, but you know, Spotify, not Spotify, but Shopify costs money. This costs money. High level costs money. No, stop that. Here's what I did: is I put it on a Patreon page. Boom. They take it on the back end. You sell something, bam, you get. In the meantime, you could use them to host a video.
Yeah. It's like
Then if people
consignment.
come on and they go, well, shoot, I want to get more of what he's doing here. So then they can subscribe to you. And that's when Patreon grabs their cash. But you see
Yep.
what I just did? I used it to be the hosting platform. Boom. I used it also to then talk about or have the image. I put a little story in there, all these different things. I used maybe a couple of AIs to produce it. I got the links, I got the transcript, all that capable. And it didn't take long. And then I says, well, let me go a little further. So I got another app that I used to just build a web page. Plug in the prompt. So I plugged in some prompts that I got from one of my other AIs, plugged it in, and it created me a really nice looking page. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Because look, I don't want you out there saying, show me the receipts. You're lying. Nah, bro. This happened, you know, and so I'm going to pop this thing up, show y'all so that you can then go, oh, wait, what? You did that? Yep. I want you to see the receipts and then feel as if I can do this too, and then go and do this too. All right. Let's double check. Make sure that you're seeing it. Are you seeing it, Rob?
I am seeing it.
Okay. So now you notice I've been in here just jamming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Content counter template. This is a video that I did the other day. Monetize your life tips, blah, blah, blah. right? So here's the one that I ended up doing, right? Turn your passions into profits. I'm going to pop it open for you all so you can see this. Now, here's what we want you to do. We're going to leave some links, right? This is live, but if I end up, taking the video and taking it off live, then I'll leave you some links. Buy some coffee, whatever it is. But look at this. I created this. This is from the image that I created now 4 different things from. I drop it in this app here and it creates this little landing page for me, right? I had to move stuff around, but it was decent enough, right? Even your grandma can turn passions into profits by creating and selling digital products. Bam, you see that? You're gonna
Mhm.
fall in love, and I says, watch how she'll do it. Your grandma, your
Mhm.
mother-in-law. That's a
Mhm.
clickable link, right? Then I just go down the whole thing. So then what I decide to do, and I want to share this with everybody here. So I says, well, I'm going to use this instead of a presentation. I'm going to use this as my presentation. So then I go
Mhm.
through, Rob, and I says, okay, today we're going to be talking about how you can teach anybody of any age, like I taught my mother-in-law, to create a
Mhm.
digital product, and then just scoot it down each row, and did it like it was a PowerPoint, right?
Mhm.
From idea to income. That's another one of my programs. So I talked about it: inspiration, creation, marketing, profit, right? And then of course you're now talking to people, but you're just scrolling along 8 cards here. They call them cards. Mastering the profit, right? It's already got the background, puts all that stuff in for you. Now, how long did it take me to do that? About 56 seconds. I
Mhm.
had a prompt, and then from the prompt, I put in this stuff and says, what can you do? Right? Now, this part goes along with something when I talk about being capable, y'all. Watch this one. Okay, Rob, I'm gonna see if make sure you can see this too. I'm gonna come
Mhm.
off of this one. Can you see this document?
Not yet.
Okay, it
It's
should
still
say,
on the website.
oh, it is. All right,
Yep.
this one says, all right, maybe I got to come off of this.
Yeah,
Come
you
off
gotta
of that
stop
one.
sharing and then share another
Yeah.
window.
All right. Oh, I see it. Yep. So let me show you all. Stop sharing this screen. And I want to show you another situation. And this is so much fun. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all. This is why we should just be sitting in a room making millions. Period. Stop that. Sitting in a room, right? That's another one of my programs. You in a room making millions. Now,
Yeah.
the second I make the millionth dollar, I'm popping that, right? So here it is. Here's what I have. I have this document that I started doing, and I sent people to this document. You see that it has links in it because I'm an affiliate for all these things. But I
Mhm.
started talking about how you can make money by giving away stuff for free. So people were like, what? How is that possible? And then I just tell you, I go through this document, something very simple. So don't give me that, oh, I got to have all this stuff. I got to have this. I got to know how to do Word. I got to know how. Nah,
Nope.
a standard document that then
Mhm.
has stuff. This is a free one here, right? My YouTube channel. I put a little information in here. Get in touch with me, an opportunity to, hey, you know what? You want to call me? Boom. A simple, free Google Doc. All right. So then I go into it, Rob. I talk about some strategies. I use some images to show exactly what that means. So if I'm telling you something, I'm showing you also, right? Monetize your life strategies, how you can put cash in your pockets, boom, 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 right? This is being an Amazon influencer. I got some images that said, now, if you want to create images using some of the GPTs, here's some stuff that it does. This guy, that thing, this person, boom. I'm just
Mhm.
literally going through and showing you. And then I says, hey, if you like this, buy me some coffee, use this link. Here we go. Keep in touch with this particular thing because I'm going to be updating. Now, Rob, here's where it gets most interesting. Y'all listening out there, this is where it gets fun. I should say even more fun. You then take something like that and you say, I got this doc. What can I do with that? So let's go over here. All right, let me go out of this one. I want to go to home. So then I take that, Rob, and I said, well, what else could I create? So I decided that I'm going to create the Monetize Your Life tips. Y'all seeing that one?
Yep.
So from a Google Doc, in other words, some thoughts that you came up with, I got another 8 slides. It does eight slide increments, right? It
Mhm.
now has something that how long did this one take? I think this one took maybe 58 seconds. So I didn't have to. So now it's like the power of like the Google LM, what
Mhm.
it does, but then it gives you something, and then we turn that into opportunity. Get started, learn more, And then what do I do? And what can you do is then you do a presentation based on that. Now imagine
Mm,
this: if you're doing an audiobook like Rob's going to be telling you about this audiobook that he just created, dropped on
mhm.
Amazon, like the commercials talk about, and some of the things that you can do. So now you can just have it up here and you can go through and do parts of your audiobook just from the information that you see here, right? So I'm going to
Mm,
be teaching y'all. So here it is, y'all, right? I'm going to be teaching you. I'm going to have to show you how to turn advice into income. Here's what I did. When asked for advice, agree but request coffee in return. That'll get you paid. Share the coffee link. I showed y'all the coffee link. Everybody saw that? Oh, you haven't signed up yet? I tell you what, I'll send you the link. I'm an affiliate for it, but here it is. Then
mm,
earn income. Now you go deeper. Inside the course, inside my membership, inside, I'm showing you this at scale. But hopefully, from what we're talking about today, you should be able to take this information and go out there and earn, right? Now, once you do that, come back in to some of the deeper stuff that I got, because now I have proven to you that you can do it too. And this is what I'm talking about: create an ebook, existing content, build landing pages for profit, turn your inbox into income, become an Amazon influencer. Right? All these different things are available to us to go out there and earn a living in a different way.
mm.
And that's the point. Are y'all seeing what I'm talking about here now?
Loving it. This is, and for those of you all that are listening that are out there, you don't, if you're not catching it, let me just slow down for a second because he just dropped a ton of gems. So, Randy, scroll back up really quickly because I think that that one thing that you talked about with
On
the
this
buy
site
me,
right here?
no, for the buy me a coffee because I that's something I want to talk to our listeners about because it's something that you have been doing
Oh,
for
I,
so long.
I get coffees bought for me all the time. And when I get an opportunity, what I'm going to do, y'all, is I'm going to show you. Let's see here. Double check it. Go to, you wanted to see this one, right? All right. So we're on this, on Buy Me a Coffee. So
There
where I
you go.
talk about Buy Me a Coffee, offer
Turn
advice,
advice into income. There you go.
turn advice into income.
Talk to people just a little bit about how you do that because you are a master at this, and I think that it's one of those things where a lot of people, right? So I'll tell a story real quick about how I was just going through this and was struggling mentally because I was doing some stuff for free,
Mhm.
and I wasn't, and I intentionally was doing it for free. I was getting feedback. They were
Which
doing,
is which is fine.
um, right. They were getting the value. But
Mhm.
one of the things that I kept hearing was, "Oh my God, this is so valuable. This is so awesome." Right. And what we had originally bartered for was referrals. So if this is so
Mhm.
awesome, tell some of your friends about me, and things will be good. And I started looking at it, and I was like, I forgot that people aren't really great at referring, right? That's not something that
True.
people do normally, right?
Right.
You don't normally tell somebody else, hey, go spend money with this person, right? It's actually a rare thing that happens. And so I realized that I was putting my clients into this, quandary situation where they're wanting to give value, they're wanting to help, but I'm not giving them opportunities. And I was like, I got a friend Randy, that does this very well. So, Randy, tell the people, how you got to this idea and how simple it works for you. Because you put me onto this, and I think that it's just such a phenomenal
Yeah.
idea.
It came from a couple of things, and this is stuff that, quite frankly, that you turned me on. Remember the guy Rick Valentine? Was that you that told me about him?
Yep, Rick
Get
Valentine.
paid to
Yep,
get paid,
and
right?
get paid. Yep.
Now, when I read Get Paid to Get Paid, I was like, okay, I kind of get that. But then we didn't have necessarily the mechanism. All right, well, what is the tool we use? Patreon has been around for a while. People are out there playing music. It was started by a musician. The guy says, look,
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing all this musician stuff. I think people ought to, want to honor the work. Well, the
Mm-hmm.
moment I started thinking about that, and then I read another book called what was it called? The two, no, it was the one book $1 million something. The one book million,
I know
one
which
book
one you're talking
millions,
about.
one book millions. So what he
Mm-hmm.
talked about was a simple thing. He says, create a book for $5 and then sell that book, but the book becomes an upsell opportunity. And I started thinking, he said, because you're going to give them good stuff. So I thought, well, instead of writing a book, because people don't like to read that much, at that particular time, right? TikTok was all the rage.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but they will listen to you and they will look at a video because they do it
Mm-hmm.
all the time on YouTube. I said, so what if I did video type things in that particular way, put a little buy me a coffee button, because by that time that was Patreon like, but it was more concrete than the Patreon approach. Patreon basically is like tip jar or whatever it is. You do a thing, people go, oh my gosh, I loved it. Here you go. But that's
Mm-hmm.
real money coming out of their pocket with no, in their mind, no concrete way to kind of see it. But coffee,
Mm-hmm.
people will buy you coffee to bend your ear left and right. In this case, you just bent my ear, whether it was on Zoom or not. I put up a link and I say, buy me a coffee. Now, they take their money on the back end and they send you the rest. But it
Mm-hmm.
is the fact that you're saying, hey, buy me a coffee. And people go, oh, okay, for this exchange of information. But here's what's even better. So the other day, I created all this stuff and then I go to my buy me a coffee page and I create a newsletter. Right now, listen, I'm telling y'all, I got the link that you can sign up for buy me a coffee. I will send you the link. Just hit me up and say, send me the link. Right now, I then, because I have people that have proven to have bought from you, kind of like Rick Valentine's, they proved it by, they paid you. So get paid now to get paid. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I did was I sent to all the people on that list just a little thing. I taught my 86-year-old mother-in-law how to. And I says, now, if this information does something for you, now this is not even live, Rob. If this information, really does something for you and you can see that, wait a minute, I can go teach my mom-in-law the same stuff. Buy your boy some coffee. I said,
Mm-hmm.
so I can stay up late and do more of these things. And I did
Mm-hmm.
the very same thing on LinkedIn because it's such a, yeah, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just get people out of the blue buying me coffee, and that goes to your bottom line. Period. What if you just did that? Says, you know what? I don't charge for anything. I just ask people to buy me coffees. But you're doing it every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And I think something that's so important is how consistent you are with it, right? Buy me a coffee is the button that's attached to so many of the things that you do. And that's really the space, even for me, realizing that and doing it. That's the thing that I know that for me, I have to get better at, is making sure that I'm putting the ask out there, because, right, you have not because you ask not, right? So much closed mouth don't get fed. There's so many different, right, different sayings that help us to remember. You miss 100%
Yeah.
of the shots you don't take. Like, we can go over and over and over this, but the big thing that a lot of people miss is that whole concept of making sure that you're asking, that you're giving people the opportunity to do that with you.
Right. And look at this all the time. Look at this. Somebody bought 3
Mm-hmm.
coffees. Somebody bought 2 coffees. Um, bought coffee all the time, y'all. I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
something
Yep.
like this can keep you from feeling that people are using you and all that kind of stuff, right? For
Mm-hmm.
your information. Well,
And to keep you from feeling isolated. Because I think one of the things that happens with us as business owners, because, right, Alex Hormozy talks about give people stuff for free till they want to pay for, till
yeah, yeah.
they want to buy from you, all the rest of that. And for most of the business owners that I've interacted with, that I've coached, right, the hundreds of business owners that I've coached, there's one common theme that generally applies to business owners, and that's that we have a heart to help. Right, we got into
Correct.
fixing a problem, to doing this because we like people, we care about people, and we want to solve problems. And so what winds up happening is the stuff that you're doing for your business, you would generally do for free. So you wind up doing it a lot, and it creates this situation where, because you're doing it for free, because you do it all the time,
Mhm.
you're not getting the same feedback that you need to let you know that it's actually valuable. Because,
Mhm.
right, thank you starts to lose its luster after a while, right? Because
That part.
people say thank you for holding the door open. That's different than me, saving you 500 hours over the next 12 months. That's a different thank you. And
Yeah.
what we know is that money is a transaction. It's a store of value.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so many entrepreneurs get stuck not getting that true validation that this is worth something more than just a thank you.
That
And I
part.
think this is so powerful because you have that. You just saw your emails like,
I
yep,
had to
that was
become
valuable.
that.
That was valuable. That was
What
valuable.
do I
That was
have to
valuable.
become? I had to become the person again, like you said, that was unafraid to ask
Mm.
for a coffee. Hey, I ain't asking for you to pay me what I'm worth. But if you pay me a coffee, then we start the machine of over time. I can send you emails.
Mhm.
Now, who do you have to become? A great asker.
Mhm.
That part.
That part.
You may not be a great asker right now. I did
Mhm.
a workshop the other day. I've been doing weekly workshops now, and daily. Because remember, I said, who do I have to become? I think I talked about this in another one. I says I'm going to do a training a day.
Mhm.
I have stuck to that. A
Nice.
training a day. Now, I had to add a part. I'm looking at my thing here. I said, wait a minute, you should probably add paid. So a paid training a day.
Mhm.
Now, and I think Russell Brunson said this. He says, if you did a webinar a week, now mine is inclusive, right? It's like I mean inclusive in that it includes other things, right? A training a day, a webinar a week, a book a month, a SaaS AI tool, or course a quarter.
Mhm.
Now, I'm just supercharging it to the nth degree because we
Mhm.
can now. We have the capability. We
Mhm.
can $6 million man this thing. We have the technology.
We have the
You
technology.
seeing it? So that's why I said from the top, I'm feeling more capable than I ever have. Now here's some math, Rob. Check this out. If you want to make six figures or just a five figure, $50,000 for just giving stuff away, that's
Mhm.
$136 a day. So now I've kept my coffees at $5. If I go up
Mhm.
to seven, that's another story. So let's say a day, divide that by $5 a day. That means you're doing 27 coffees. Does that mean you're doing 27 talks? No. You can put it on a webinar, you can put it in an email, and making sure, depending on how many people you got on your email, you can send it to other people and says, hey, could you send this out to so and so, to your people, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
And then the numbers start working for you because people see this, people come across your stuff and they go, man, that was pretty good. They see the video, they go, dang, that's pretty good. And
Mhm.
the moment you have them, because it shows you, it sends you a note, hey, somebody bought your coffee, right?
Yep.
The moment you do that, then you can start talking to them longer term. You got the
Yep.
asset, which is the email. And then you can see how you can take this to a huge level. I don't ask for money, I just ask for coffees. And they're going, okay. And I've had people buy me lots of coffee at one time, hundreds of dollars worth of coffee, $5 a time, because you can just tell them what you want to send. Now they get their part on the back end, but you see
Mhm.
what you're doing. You're building up a book of people that have proven to have saw what you said as valuable and honored it with a coffee.
Mhm.
That part. Now, I want to share this last thing, Rob. I'm cooking today, man. Like I was watching
I'm loving it. You dropping nuggets.
I was, and this is another thing that I ended up creating from. I created some content from this, and I released a product too called turn any piece of content, turn any content into cash flow. I just released it on the
Mhm.
Gumroad and to a couple other places. But anyway, I was reading this book here, Inside Drucker's Brain. You've seen this book,
Yeah, Peter Drucker,
right?
the
So this
prolific
this is
Peter
this is how I
Drucker.
built the content. I went in and I started talking about Alex Hormozy style, right? Because if you notice, the just talking head is coming back versus all the graphics and all that. So
Mhm.
here's something he says. He says you should be developing an outside in perspective, meaning abandoning yesterday's perspectives. That
Mhm.
means embracing a new reality. We said it at
Mhm.
the top. Who do you have to become?
Become. Yep.
What new reality? Now, here's something else he said. This dude was writing in 1954, y'all. You should be getting this. That in this 1954 watershed book, the practice of management, there is only one valid definition of a business purpose, and that's to create a
Mhm.
customer.
Create a customer. Yep.
So our business people out there, your purpose for starting is to create a customer, to see if you can create a customer. Now, I'm gonna leave you with this. Leave you with this. Here's the next one. 56, page 56, if you got the hardcover. He says, this, and this is, oh my gosh. He says you should be doing one thing, and that is exploiting opportunities, finding opportunities, not solving problems. Wait, we've been taught that, well, you find a problem, you solve that, you get money. But what about all these opportunities that are presenting themselves? He says,
Mhm.
however, in most organizations, it's best people spend too much time putting out fires rather than searching for new opportunities that can become tomorrow's cash cow.
There
Talk
you
to him,
go.
Rob.
There
Talk
you
to him
go.
about alignment.
Oh
This
man,
is all you do.
that part right there. When I go into organizations, when I'm doing leadership consulting, one of the first things that I'll generally do is I'll go into the organization and we'll talk about what does a good leader look like, right? Because everybody thinks that I'm coming there to tell them some new stuff, some amazing off the wall stuff, and I'm like, nope. All of you all in here, and we'll go through and they'll list out everything that a good leader is. Boom, 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 boom. We'll talk about all the things that good leaders are. And of course, I'm like, see, y'all just took all my thunder. Everything that I was going to say is on the board right now. Why am I here? Right.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
Right. And then we'll laugh and I'll tell them the reason I'm here is because let's be honest. What does your day look like? Right. We all know what a good leader's day looks like. What does your day look like? And then, of course, the thing that goes on the board more and more times than anything else, fighting fires, dealing with fires, right? See the whack-a-mole fires, some sort of analogy that is basically squirrel doing that stuff, right? And the whole key about it is what I do when I go work with leaders is help them to retire from the fire brigade, right? The whole key.
Retire from the fire?
Retire from the fire brigade, that part, right? Because the whole key about it is most of the things that they are stuck in is what is called the tyranny of the urgent, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. It's not stuff that is important, right? Because the stuff that's important and urgent, we take care of that. But that's very rarely the majority of our day. Mm-hmm. What winds up happening is we get so conditioned to being in a state of urgency that once we're done with important stuff that's urgent, we just start working on unimportant stuff that's urgent. And right.
Unimportant stuff, but urgent.
Yeah, unimportant but urgent. And this is, if you've ever read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, I know you have, but for those people that are out there listening, if you ever read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey talks about this, right? You got your 4 quadrants. You got your things that are important and urgent. Of course, we do those immediately. You got your things that are unimportant but still urgent. Those are the things that you've got to delegate, that you got to figure out how to get off of your plate because they're not for you to do. Then there, of course, the things that are unimportant and not urgent. Don't nobody ever worry about those we don't even talk about them. But the most important quadrant and the most often overlooked quadrant when we're talking about alignment in that whole thing are the things that are important but not urgent, because they're not going to be a 5-alarm fire, right? Saving for retirement is never going to call you and be like, hey, you deal with me now, right?
Oh
it's never going to do that, right? Taking care of your wife's birthday or your spouse's birthday, it's never going to be like, hey, you got to do me now until it's that day.
Yeah.
364 days a year, it's not going to bother you. It's just going to sit in the cut and chill. And then it's going to show up and be like, hey, you forgot about me, huh? Right? And so in being in alignment, one of the things that's most important, we're so conditioned to being in the urgent that it feels uncomfortable when we're working on stuff that's important, but it's not really due till next week or it's not really due till next month. And so many leaders get stuck in that space that they run back to the urgent stuff that's actually getting them off course just because it feels comfortable. It feels normal. It feels like, and so to your point, we got to become somebody different. You have to become someone who is comfortable not being stressed.
Well, oh my gosh, did y'all just hear it? Comfortable not being, in other words, you're so used to chaos that you don't know what non-chaos looks like. Hey, everybody, we got a jam out of here. I got some other things going on, and I hope you got some value from this, right? We talked a little mindset stuff. We talked about who you have to become to end up doing this stuff at a good and high level. We've showed you some tools that if you're not feeling capable, hey, listen, we'll help you apply these tools. Rob and I use a lot of them. Rob's got some new stuff out. We want you to be able to go and check out his stuff. Go on Amazon. I've got books out on Amazon as well, right? And you can see there's a lot of doorways into the house of Randy O, the Monetize Your Life guy.
Yeah.
Just go check it.
And one thing that Randy's going to do here's your homework, because Randy's going to do this. He's going to put it at in the bottom. You all go watch how Buy Me a Coffee works, because he dropped some nuggets today. Go buy Randy a coffee.
Yeah, that part. All right. We'll talk to y'all later. See you later, Rob.
Take it easy.
All right.
Good one, bro.